So this video is about ZTNA and SASE. Yeah, I know this is a bit more technical, this video. So if you're not interested in techie stuff, just bear in mind this is technology that replaces VPNs that's more secure. That's all you need to know. And we want to be moving everyone from VPNs to SASE, ZTNA. I've made some notes here, so I'm going to be just flicking backwards and forwards, sorry, because it's not something I've explained that often yet. So what is it? Basically, it's the next generation of VPNs, but it does a lot more. VPNs are basically allowed people to connect remotely into the office, virtual private networks. I'm sure you're familiar with them by now. And a lot of businesses use these. The problem is the armadillo problem, because once you've got through the crunchy outside case, it's all soft in the middle, and you can easily hack the systems, which is what's happening with some of these big incidents with the supermarkets at the moment. They've got their username and passwords, they've got in the systems, and then they can work their way through everything else. ZTNA, SASE, I'm just going to call it SASE for the rest of this, is essentially a newer technology. So you have software on each device, you have software, and the idea is basically you're creating a bubble around your IT. So you've got the bubble and you've got the rest of the internet outside that. And because it's a virtual bubble, it doesn't matter where in the world things are. So you keep stuff out of the bubble. But what's really cool about it is you can say, right, the finance team can access the finance servers, but the bricklayers can't access the finance servers ever, which you can do with permissions anyway, but you're doing it at the network layer, which is more secure. What you can do as well is you can make sure, so we've signed in with our Microsoft credentials, which you can do with the VPN, but we can check that the device is up to date. And again, there's tools that do this for VPN. It's like, is it fully patched? Is the antivirus working? Has it got our tools on it? Is it set up as a member of our network? If it doesn't meet all of these criteria, you can't log on. We can check it's got disk encryption, all of these things. And what's nice about it is it's routing all of the traffic, not just through back into your network, but you can control where it goes on the wider internet as well. So we could say, for example, let's not allow traffic to newly registered domain names because they're more likely to be malicious. Let's not allow traffic to these dark websites. So there's a lot you can do with this that didn't exist with the basic VPNs. And what about costs? Well, generally it varies, but sort of £5 to £15 a user a month. So it's quite an expensive undertaking, but it gives you such a good layer of protection. I think it's well worth considering, because once you've got that bubble, it's much, much harder for hackers to get in, because once they do get in, they're quite restricted on what they can do because everything's isolated from each other. And obviously we combine them with other technologies like virtual networks, VLANs, and controlling data to different systems in the cloud. There's so much stuff you can do nowadays. But I think it's important to understand this is a technology we really should be rolling out now, because VPNs just don't cut it anymore. They're just not secure enough. So hope that makes sense. Hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, thoughts, mention them below, and do feel free to get in touch. I'd love to have a chat with you. Thanks for watching.